I should be in bed sleeping right now because this robe is still not dry from after I washed it with just steaming hot water. Um, I have to worry about the pills on the robe, cotton pills on the inside of the robe, like sort of attached, and you can pull them off, but I don't want to pull them all off. So this robe doesn't have very many, but I don't want it to get any more. Uh, the black robe that I wear has some. I don't want. I washed both the robes at once because I should be sleeping while they dry, and I am not sleeping. So this robe is a little bit cold. What I wanted to mention at this time is, which I think is about 4 in the morning, sometime in December of the year 2025. I'm homeless in the threatening, and I don't have a Ford for that. I didn't die overnight because I said I'm going to die as the overlord. Elsewhere, the Lord did say he was going to die in certain threatenings to myself and not to anyone else. And it just lived, and it didn't have money or mind to be alive anymore. And now I am in that problem. I don't have money or mind to be alive anymore, and I'm alive. And I have one more problem. I don't have that I can obtain food out of the public to eat it in here for whatever need that I am alive. That means I have some kind of a life ahead of me. I don't agree with food or anyone who's not myself or this place here. I don't afford that you are living in my housing. I think I need to die out of that. You've been doing that. But I didn't die on the point that I'm done, which is that the water was shut off yesterday. All the tap water was shut off. And I found it on at about 7:30 p.m. approximately. And so I was glad to use the water again, but I need a death on myself because the water was off, and I don't have a call to tell anybody the water is off. There is no landlord to call at this time. So I don't have karma to be here, but I'm alive, and it's unsettling and fretting in heaven that I don't have alive in the money. And it's true that I don't have alive for the threatening you are, which is you want witnessing on that somebody's going to get a gunshot to the face because I'm angry. But I am angry right here. What that means, if you get a gunshot to the face, you can't leave. You don't know how to be yourself. What I would be worried about is that you're showing that around in public because you're doing a prison morgue. If you have a gunshot, you're doing a prison morgue. You're not doing public anywhere. And you don't know how to get to a prison morgue, but you know how to get a gunshot to yourself. I don't see how that involves me. The order is you have to be inside of a prison with the address deceased to yourself so you don't ever leave the prison. That's an order, like you can't get out because there's no address and you don't know where you are. It's not really America anymore. So once you're in a prison in that way, that it's not America anymore, there's no going out because the address is deceased. You can have a gunshot in there and be in the morgue. So I am not the kind of type of female that you afford to know. You don't afford to know me. I'm here because the male of myself is a gunshot and in the morgue and died. If you're alive here and you didn't die of being female, that means you don't have a male who has a gunshot in the morgue of a prison with a deceased address, and then you're female after that. Not really. You would not be alive anymore after that. That's solved. So I'm alive here because the male of myself is deceased in the threatening. The female of myself is not supposed to really be alive this way. You did something wrong in my house, and I am insuring it with myself, and I don't afford to do that. And when I was first alive, it was the size of a 3.5-year-old child is what you would call it. But I'm not a child. I'm the Godhead, the size of a 3.5-year-old child. And I don't really afford to grow up. It's not my order to grow up. I don't have a certain appearance to grow up into. My appearance that I first arrived in, that was the order, and it's not due to change its appearance at all. So it did change. It's my overlording changing my appearance because you are trespassing in my house. I don't look like my house anymore, but it is my house. It's still there across the street from Temple Shalom, village of Fox Point, Milwaukee County, state of Wisconsin. That's my house. I looked like my original appearance in that house. Size of 3.5 years old. So that would have been the year 1980. It's the year 2025. I'm still alive about that house and my original appearance. I'm paying, like carrying all the leverage it is to alive that way. I carry all the leverage of being the size of 3.5 years old. Body, Godhead, body. And I look like this now. I'm 48 years old and don't have the full height did become shorter by about 3 inches, and I don't afford it. I can see that you don't afford my first motion of being alive at the size of 3.5 years old and saying I wasn't expecting a home invasion into my house order. That's what I said to the strangers in my house, one you would know as Donna Trump. She's the first stranger home invasion into my house. And she doesn't understand that I said that I wasn't expecting an home invasion into my house. And she said, have a plate of food. This is my house. Because the other way is, why doesn't she have, because she is alive like this. She has a certain appearance. I know who she is. I know what she looks like. And why isn't it that the same person with the same appearance saw that it was me inside of my house and you turned around and left because I am scary? I am scary. I am really putting down the leverage. I'm pulling the lever down hard and I'm putting the leverage all the way out of myself, all by myself. I can do it. And she didn't just turn around and leave, that she accidentally intruded on a house that was mine. So that's her needing to be on the outside of the house. And then whatever happens to her, that will be like one day and then another day that she's not in my house, but she's outside, because the time is going to tick anyway. If Donna Trump went outside of my house while I was still 3.5 years old, and she just went outside of my house. I know, to start with, I wasn't a baby. I don't have a birthday. So 3.5 years old size Godhead. If she just goes out to the outside of the house, and she's outside of the house for one day, and then she's outside of the house for 2 days, and then 3 days, and then 4 days, the time will alive that way. It will go on. And you're telling me she's not capable of that? Because I'll tell you something right here. I'm not interested in any of her time inside of my house. I'm not interested in that she doesn't know whose house it is. That's because she immediately started eating food in my house. You don't know. That's the order. If you eat food in my house, you don't know whose house it is. Who gave you food? I didn't serve her food. That's impossible. Mentally impossible and impossible. I didn't give her any food. Why wasn't she just someplace else? Are you telling me God was asking you these questions? Do you know what to do once you've eaten food? You can't with your head. You don't know with your head. Her head's full of food, and she doesn't know with her head that she's due elsewheres. Because you burned up my time here, and I don't alive ever again. I wasn't going to come back anyway. I said that myself. I'm not coming back here anyway. You just ordered a reincarnation at first sight of myself at a kitchen table with a plate of food in front of me. But I said, I'm not coming back here. Yeah, I'll eat, but it's my house. What are you have some sarcastic, maniacal problem that you think that I ate food in my house. It's not my food, and it's not my house anymore to everybody else who's eating food. I know, but your head is full of food. What do you want me to do about that? You just made me pay for that. I don't have any way to pay your charges because, I don't have any money to pay charges because you owe the money frozen in the bank. Nobody owes that they pay any money if I'm alive here. You're trying to run this world like I'm not alive here, and it's my house that's doing that. So why didn't it go another way? Why didn't Donna Trump just go out of my house and she take the time next door? Because Charles Toe has this problem. Why isn't he next door? You don't know he's here. I know he's here is not due. Do you know where he is now? He's not really here at the moment. But he was here for 23 years. Yeah, but who knows that but me? I know that, but you don't. Who's watching me from heaven? I don't afford it because I'm not there myself. Well, you're not over me because you're in heaven. You're just up there. Yeah. Heaven, what are you doing up there? Because you're a fear factory. I fret because you don't give me things I need, and I don't want anything that I need. No, I don't want to need anything out of heaven. What are you doing up there? Can you see YouTube? Yeah, leave me a comment.